draw and fade, explained easier than ever before. In today's video, I want to explain how you can intentionally put spin on your golf ball. You might be wondering, why should I even bother to put spin on my golf ball, specifically side spin, to be more precise? Well, please stay tuned, because that is exactly what I want to explain in detail in today's video. I want to start right here by hitting a little fade, because on this particular hole, playing a fade is simply the best possible choice. Why is that? Well, I have plenty of room to start the ball out on the left side, and I have more than enough space to let the ball curve back gently to the right. And in the end, a fade tends to fly a bit higher, which is especially useful on this hole. Why? Because it simply goes steeply uphill. Here I have a par 4, and it's 300 meters uphill. Beautiful game. Now hopefully here comes the fade. Exactly, there it is, the fade towards the flag. Who am I? My name is Philip Klimberg. I have been a PGA teaching professional for 16 years. I've been playing golf for over 30 years. Now I have a 30-meter shot onto the green ahead of me. And I'd like to talk a bit about the question of why it makes sense to play curves. Because, and here comes the definitive answer to that question, if you are truly able to play a controlled curve, then you can effectively eliminate one entire side of the golf course. In this specific case, for example, I was absolutely sure that I could make the ball draw consistently to the right. And if I am able to make the ball draw to the right every time, then basically, I do not need to be afraid of the left side at all. And on this particular hole, there is a lot of open space on the right side, whereas on the left side, there is some very thick, tall grass that you want to avoid. That's why I went ahead and simply aimed at the left third of the fairway and then deliberately played a slight fade. What does fade mean? Fade means the ball starts on the left side, yes, and then curves to the right and ultimately lands at the target. And if you've ever wondered what the difference is between a fade and a slice, the answer is actually quite simple. With a fade, the ball lands at the target, while with a slice, it doesn't. And if you've wondered what the difference is between a fade and a cut, I can't explain that to you either. Good players often refer to a fade as a cut. The cut is also a shot that, for all right-handed golfers, curves a bit from left to right and also lands at the target. As I said, I'm now facing a 30-meter approach shot, and I've chosen the lob wedge. I'm going to try to approach the ball high and soft. How do I play the pitch shot high and soft? How do I manage that? By achieving the correct angle of attack on the ball, where the swing arc is as wide as possible. My goal is for the club head to be as far away from me as possible, because that should allow me to let the club glide smoothly over the ground. And that's exactly my plan now. Shot number 2. It's still relatively early, and of course I'm not perfectly warmed up. But that shouldn't be an excuse for why I hit the ball a bit to the left here. Maybe the fade is still a little bit in me. Nevertheless, I have my first chance for a birdie. The only good thing about this birdie putt, in my opinion, is the view and maybe the weather today, because that too is truly beautiful. It's already over 20 degrees, and that's in the morning. Now I'm facing a long birdie putt. As always, I first position myself right in the middle between the ball and the flag and the hole. Here, I immediately try to feel how the ball is going to break. And in this case, I could clearly feel that everything slopes a bit from right to left. That means I will aim my ball on this side here. Nevertheless, I'm facing a very, very long putt. So my goal would be to get the ball in the hole with 2 putts. And for that, I need the right distance control now. And if you've often wondered what you can do to control your distance perfectly when putting, then I can only recommend one thing to you. Namely, that you play putts, and before you look to see, which is already very good, that you don't look. But before you check, say out loud to yourself whether it was too long or too short, and then you check, and then you get the feedback on whether your feeling was correct. And in my opinion, that's the best way you can work on your distance control. I'd like to demonstrate the whole thing right away. So I'm aiming a little to the right, and now I play the putt. That one might be a little too short. Now I look down the green and realize, oh no, it is actually pin high. That means I get some immediate, valuable feedback on exactly how I am feeling. And that is precisely how I can really start to improve my overall distance control over time. And there's the first par of the day. Today's all about draw and fade, and I'd like to go into more detail about that on the next tee shot. So here I am now at the next tee. Draw and fade is today's topic, and in this case, I think a draw is the best choice. The ball that starts to the right and then curves to the left. Why? On the right side, there's a bit of a slope where the ball will roll back in, even if it stays a little to the right. But now the question is, how are you able to hit draws and fades? And is it really as simple as I just said at the beginning? And the answer is yes. In the past, I used to explain the whole thing in a much more complicated way. These days, I've learned a lot. I've simply found easier, simpler ways to explain a golf swing, to describe it. And when it comes to the topic of draw and fade, for me, it's always about the position of the left arm. So what does that mean now? A neutral ball flight occurs when the left arm is positioned at 30 degrees. If the left arm is further back, my swing path tends to be more from the inside out. And if my swing path tends to be more from the inside out, then a left curve is produced on the ball, provided the club face is correct, which I'll get to in a moment. But for now, it's all about the swing path. This means, in turn, if you want to hit a draw, as I do here in my case, then you need to make sure that your left arm is placed far enough back, because then you'll be able to swing in to out, that is, from the inside out. And if your left arm is placed further forward, so more here instead of here is forward, then you will tend to come more from the outside to the ball, which would result in your ball tending to go more to the right, with the corresponding club face position. And in my view, this is exactly the simplest way to hit draws and fades. You simply position your left arm correctly in the backswing, and the curve happens all by itself. And that's exactly what I want to demonstrate now. Now, I really need to select the right club for this shot. It is a par 4 hole, measuring exactly 344 meters to the green. I have only one task, namely to position my left arm correctly. And I'll do all of this as soon as the greenkeeper is out of harm's way, because he's currently driving toward me on this hole. And here I can add one more thing. Please always watch out for the greenkeepers, because they're just doing their job, and they should always be protected as well. And then we get started. My task now is to position my left arm correctly so that the draw happens. Correct means far enough back. If the left arm were too far forward, I wouldn't get any spin on the ball. Because how does spin get on the ball? Through the swing path. And the swing path in turn is largely influenced by the position of the left arm during the backswing. And that's exactly what I want to demonstrate now. The ball is well aligned, the grip is right, the arm structure is correct. Pay attention to that. I want to go into more detail on that in a moment. And now really, nothing stands in the way of the shot anymore. Long story short, if I want to hit draws and fades, it all comes down to the position of the left arm. Because with the correct position of your left arm, you can influence the swing path. And if you're one of those players, and in this case, shout out to Andy Gruber. He played soccer for a long time in the Austrian Bundesliga, a great player. He now plays in Slovakia. And just today, he sent me a voice message. He's a friend of mine, and he wrote or said, "Please, Philip, help me. I just can't hit my driver. Should I switch from TaylorMade to Titleist? I tend to hit the ball off to the right when I swing from in to out." And no, you don't need to switch from TaylorMade to Titleist, even though I'm a fan of both. I like TaylorMade clubs. I like Titleist clubs. I like Tacomo clubs. By the way, those are the clubs I'm currently playing with, but it's not about the club. If the ball starts right and stays right when you're trying to play a draw, then it's due to the wrong club face position. And the club face itself is primarily influenced by the structure of your arms. And what I always do, and what I would actually recommend to everyone, is this one thing. Because it's specifically about the position of the left arm. I'd like to ask you to do this. Turn your club, specifically the leading edge of the club, 45 degrees inward. This is 0 degrees. That would be 90 degrees, and this is 45 degrees. And once the club is turned 45 degrees, you place your left thumb on the grip so that the thumb is pointing straight down. What does that mean? Your thumb is offset to the side from the leading edge, and once you have carefully placed your right hand onto the grip, I want you to slowly straighten the club by leaning it slightly forward. This is important because then your palm, then the back of your hand, and then your entire wrist will be in the correct position for the swing. Left hand is angled 45 degrees to the leading edge. And that's always what I want to see. I would like your left arm to be rotated inward by 45 degrees because when your hands hang down naturally, they are turned slightly inward. And if your ball stays so far to the right when you throw it, and if your ball curves so far to the right on a fade, then it's very often due to the position of your left arm. And of course, this applies to all right-handed golfers. Yes, for all left-handed golfers, it should also be mentioned, it's about the position of the right arm, about the position of the right hand. So shot number 2, I have a sand wedge in my hand. There are only 70 meters left, so that was a successful shot. Nevertheless, the ball position isn't quite perfect. It's lying a bit in a hole, at least that's what I think I can see. And accordingly, I will position the ball a little to the right. That's the only thing that I want, and will adapt a bit here. So, sand wedge, shot number 2. Yes, that doesn't look bad. Well, now that doesn't look bad at all, ladies and gentlemen. When I am putting, I make it a point to always focus specifically on the position of my shoulders. Then the shoulders stay square, meaning my swing path is straight along the target line. And nevertheless, unfortunately, this ball did not go into the hole. And with that, with this par, I would like to warmly say goodbye to you as always. Thank you very much for watching. I think hitting draws and fades has actually never been so easy. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the bell right next to it, because that's the only way you'll get notified when a new video is online. And yes, I wish you a wonderful evening, a great game, and lots of fun trying it out.